Hello, and welcome to Sports Culture, the show that blends the worlds of sports and pop culture. I'm Dayton Abbott. Since a good majority of you, the audience, know how the show works by now, this being the 5th episode and all, let's get the show started. However, if you don't know how the show works, feel free to watch prior shows where I tell you how the show works. Here's our first segment, sports. And in sports today, we are going to be talking about baseball. Yes, baseball, because it is the fall, and I would like to talk about baseball. So, we have a rant coming up at the end, but let's get into it. It's the postseason, and currently in the American League Championship Series, we have currently we are in the American League Championship Series, as well as the National League Championship Series round of the playoffs. And that means only one thing, the World Series is just around the corner. And in the ALCS this year, or the American League Championship Series, it is the Houston Astros taking on the Texas Rangers in the Battle of Texas. The best of 7 series is currently tied 2-2. As I record this, the Houston Astros have just won Game 5 over the Rangers by a score of 5-4, thus going up 3-2 in the series. The go-ahead run would be scored on a Jose Altuve home run, a three-run shot to take the lead and overall win the game. And then that sets up Game 6, where the Astros will take the series lead back home to Minute Maid Park, where they look to close out Texas and advance to the World Series yet again. My overall thoughts on this series is that both teams, both the Astros as well as the Rangers, are very strong. From the pitching to the defense to the offense where the runs are scored, I think both teams are just solid. I could see this series going either way as it wraps up. However, I hope the Texas wins because if you know, you know. The Astros as an organization cheated in 2017 to win the World Series, and so I'm still very bitter about that, as there's most baseball fans, and so we root against the Astros to win and go back to the World Series, so go Rangers. And in the NLCS, it is the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Currently, as I record this, Game 4 is underway with the best of 7 series 2-1. I can actually reverse that. All right, take that back. Game 4 is done now. That was on Friday. It is now Saturday, October 21st. The Diamondbacks had a comeback to tie the game and ultimately take the lead. And so now the series is 2-2. So setting up a pivotal Game 5 tonight. I will be watching that for sure. Overall thoughts on this series in the NLCS. Just like the ALCS, both teams super strong. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. However, the hidden advantage may be with the Phillies because when they play at, Bedlam at the Phillies ballpark is the bank. The bank, yeah. I think it's the bank. It's called the bank, I believe. So, yeah, I think the Phillies, when they play at home at the bank, they look unstoppable from the crowd noise to when they crush home runs. To the pitching, which is lights out starting wise at home. I think when you combine all three things, it's the Phillies are just that dominant team. So I think that when the Phillies play better at home, they have a true home field advantage. In the end, thus, I think the Phillies are going to be the more dominant team. And so I think they're going to go to the World Series. Thus, my World Series matchup is the Rangers versus the Phillies. Although, if the Diamondbacks went, that would be amazing as well, and they would just outright win it, and good luck to both teams. My prediction right now, World Series, Rangers, Phillies, we shall see what's going to play out. And now for my rant, my mini little rant, is that baseball needs to wrap up before we focus on the early season of hockey and basketball. Basketball and hockey is just starting up, like we're just within the first week or two, I want to say. And I want to also add on to my argument, it's too much to follow all at once. For me, I'm following football. We're in about 6-7 weeks in a football season. We're following baseball through to a World Series. Then you add in hockey starting up, and basketball is going to start next week. Let's just let baseball wrap up before we fixate on hockey being the Oilers, and for me, basketball being the Raptors. Let's just let baseball finish. It's honestly, the ALCS and the NLCS have been so much fun to watch. It's actually competitive. We have amazing series going on this year where it's back and forth. It's hit for hit, run for run. Pitching is crucial. And you can't say that about prior years where certain teams have been dominant and other teams have just kind of fizzled out and failed. And So let's give baseball a chance this year. You know what? Let's watch baseball. Let's crown a World Series champion. Then we can look at basketball. Then we can look at hockey. Then we can look at football. That's my mini real little rant. Let's watch baseball. Let's let it finish, and then we can really dial in on hockey. Okay? That's my rant. And my question to you guys is, do you follow baseball, or is it too slow of a sport for you, like most people say? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know your team down in the comments if you do follow the sport. And now moving into our second segment, it is Spotlight. And in the Spotlight this week, I'm going to give you my Walking Dead update. So I'm going to give you my favorite character, my least favorite character, and the plot so far as I have watched. I believe I'm on season 3 now. So my favorite character so far is a tie between Glenn and Carl. What I like about both characters is that they're not the strongest, but they are balanced, meaning that they can make good moral decisions in the story. They aren't the strongest physically, which I personally can relate to. I'm not the strongest person in real life, and they're in a large part of the scene so far. So when certain characters aren't shown for long periods throughout a show, I tend to forget them and not like them as much. This is not the case with Glenn and Carl. They're in majority of the scenes, thus I get to see them and form a really good interpretation of the character. However, the character I dislike the most is Merle. I think it's just because he's a guy's guy. He's painted out to be this villain character who has a little moral compass. He doesn't follow his own path anymore. He just kind of listens to the governor as like one person. And he just has little development, it seems, from season 1 to 3. That could be due to camera time. That could be due to the director-producer focusing more on other plot points. And overall, he's just a jerk of a character. He's just a bully. And I don't really like those characters because they're just bullies. And I think maybe that's credit to his character, that he is painted out that way, but I just don't really like him as a character so far. So maybe he'll change my opinion in the next season or 2. Who knows? And the plot so far has been moving and growing. It's been a little slow at times. Certain episodes, it's just talking, and that's a little frustrating as a fan because you want to see a little bit of fighting or adventure or action, but that can't be all the time. So far it's been steady. There's been the correct amount of action scenes to talking scenes, and I can't wait to see where it goes next. I'm in season 3, about to be going into season 4. I think I'm at the beginning to midpoint of season 3, so very interesting. And my question to you guys for Spotlight is, have you seen The Walking Dead? Do you have a favorite character or a character you don't like? Or maybe you finished the series and you can tell me non-spoilers, but you can tell me what I could look forward to in the upcoming seasons. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have seen The Walking Dead. Favorite character, non-favorite character, points that I'm going to, or not plot points, but what can I look forward to in the coming seasons? And so, now that Spotlight is done, we're going to go right into my recommendation. This week's recommendation is another musical recommendation, or not musical recommendation, but song recommendation for New Music Friday. It is the song Too Much. It is by The Kid Laroi, one of my favorite rappers, musicians, artists of all time. Jungkook from BTS and Central C, the British rapper. What I like about the song Too Much is it draws me in. First, that, like I said, The Kid Laroi is rapping in it. Second, the beat, 30 seconds in, is very catchy. Immediately, it was new, it was different to me. It's not the same as a lot of songs are doing now. So that was secondly. And then third is that the way that all 3 artists are used to their strength in the song is amazing. Specifically when the song is laid out in a way that everyone is highlighted and not overtaking each other, it feels like. That's what I like in a song. So the Kid Laroi is like coming in and rapping in the right points. Jungkook is singing the hook and the melody, and then Central C has his own verse. And it all comes together really, 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 really well. And that's why I like it. And that's why it's my recommendation for this week. So give it a listen. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think you would change certain things in it? Or yeah, just let me know any of those 3 down in the comments. And that's all the time we have for this episode of Sports Culture, episode number 5. If you like the show, you dislike the show, any comments at all, feel free to leave them down below as always. If you'd like to check me out on Instagram, you can do so. My Instagram is Dayton.Abbott. My Twitter, or X now that we're calling it, is at Dayton__Abbott. Those will be both down in the description. And yeah, take care. Thanks for watching. Episode 6 coming next week. Yeah.